Hey guys, Lou here. So, you know by now I love visual novels, right? Visual novels are just a fun ride and kind of what I wish would be a new way for people to write books, you know? With this, there was one visual novel that's not dramatical murder that I enjoyed a lot, but what happened to it? The visual novel I'm talking about is Dream Daddy, a game developed by Vernon Shaw and Leighton Gray with promotion by the Game Grumps, since one of the people on the team was friends with them, and his team made a large portion of the game in their office because the Game Grumps are cool people like that. Now all this sounds fine, but what I'm saying is, what happened? The visual novel release came off very successful, but mixed to me. There were some unanswered questions I still had for this game and its development, not to mention it was successful and no DLC, no sequel, not even a 5-minute short or something? Let's start this video and figure out what the hell happened to Dream Daddy. I can't really figure out when development started. All I know is when the game was announced around June, it was released July of 2017. I can't really understand why they're so secretive about development, but maybe it might have been rushed? As I watched the recent MomoCon panel, I see here one of the earliest builds was July of 2017. So being generous and saying the game totally wasn't rushed, let's say the game started official development around summer of 2016. If it was rushed, which I have a feeling it was, that I'll explain in a little bit, then I'd say development actually started around December 2016. Though I definitely will say this, as it's an overly common misconception. The Game Grumps did not develop this game. The only thing they had involvement in was voice acting, allowing the team to develop the game in their office, and promoting the game, all because one of the directors, I don't remember which one, is friends with one of the Grumps. The story is all over the place sometimes, though I think it's absolutely adorable to have single parents finding new love together and, you know, not being gross about some of the elements that are completely fucking normal, you know? I mean, it's all over the place in terms of pacing, character development, and structure of stories. Let's explain through the characters their stories and explain how flawed the writing is. Matt. Matt's story revolves way too much around you knowing obscure 80s bands and indie bands. There's nothing wrong with his route being music-centric because, well, that's fine and music is awesome anyway. But the fact that you have to know and answer these questions all based on these obscure bands doesn't make sense when considering the other dads don't ask you to do that for their hobbies. Except Joseph with that random Jimmy Buffett song, which I still don't know who that is, by the way. Robert. I get wanting to make it so you don't have to get with every dad, and that makes sense with Robert here. Yes, it sucks, but Robert needing to work himself out before making it work with someone else is a very realistic thing to do. I know plenty of people who aren't ready to date yet until they work themselves out after all. Still, Robert's choices make no sense. They knew for a fact players would try to sleep with Robert on the first attempt, and yet they punish the player if they want to pursue him after that. With games, I do agree in punishing the player if they know they're making a wrong choice. But why punish the player for thinking that this is going to follow a normal dating sim? We know nothing of Robert when we meet him, so how are we supposed to know that sleeping with him on the first day is going to cause him not to want to date us when we try and date him? Also, like, pineapple on a pizza is a sin to humanity. Just saying. Brian. Well, yeah, the idea of Brian being an adorable dad who wants to raise his daughter is adorable. It just gets boring to really have his dates be nothing but dad competitions. I honestly prefer the idea of him being the drama-free dad, especially when he looks and acts so damn sweet. It would have been a fun, fluffy break from all the sad moments in this game. Craig. Not only is he my favorite dad, but his route is actually really nicely written. Good job on them for not fucking up my boy. Hugo. As a literature nerd, Hugo's route is enjoyable, and even though I don't like wrestling, it's at least adorable that he does. I am personally glad they didn't do what they did with Matt and ask you a lot of questions or have a lot of knowledge about wrestling and wrestlers or something like that. I mean, I would have appreciated a John Cena meme or simply that one photo of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson somewhere as a poster, but that's just me. Someone who isn't even a fan of wrestling, by the way. Damien. Now, Damien is literally my entire aesthetic made into a father. His route is kind of consistent until you get to that thing with the dog. Why does finding a dog boil down to whether or not he has a relationship with you? I mean, not saying dogs are amazing, dogs are best boys, but wouldn't it make more sense if it boiled down to what you said while finding the dog that mattered instead? Like maybe showing you don't see it as a big deal that he dresses normally sometimes? Joseph. Now it's time for Jack Morrison. Captain America. Gosh damn it! Jokes aside, Joseph's is the most infuriating route. While it is interesting to do a story involving cheating and maybe show why cheating is really gross, it is wrong to focus so much on the happy side of it. Don't show us Mary and Joseph are miserable and it's affecting the kids, then turn around to say they shouldn't leave each other and need to stay for the kids who clearly aren't having a fun time with their parents hating each other. Joseph also has an extremely inconsistent bad end. All the dads, yeah, even Robert sorta, are shown to love their kids more than life itself. And for Joseph to just run off with you and leave his kids completely? Why do both endings go from one extreme to the next?
That's just lazy writing.
I suppose what doesn't make this any better is the developers said that Joseph and Robert having endings like this is because it's sociopathic to want to be with everyone in the game. You literally made every character extremely likable that made people want to date them. Nothing wrong with subversion of dating simulators, but to say it's sociopathic that dating simulators allow you to have multiple choices with every character is really dumb. It doesn't help the pacing of all this feels very rushed. The build-up to the dad queue, is really well paced and filled with a lot of quick jokes, but the dates themselves, they're extremely short in comparison. I swear, Hugo's route felt like it took 20 minutes to finish, while the main route itself took like 5 hours. The art in this game is good. Epsi is an absolutely fantastic artist, brilliant as well. This being said, there are major art inconsistencies with the overall design of the game in terms of combination of art styles. Epsi's art is beautifully colored and well shaded, but the background art looks like a concept sketch waiting to be finalized. I get that if the art style is to be unfinished, but it's really jarring to see these sketch lines and have properly shaded backgrounds, while the foreground is clearly made by a different artist with a higher skill in art. Then there's the elephant in the room, the dad builder. I'm not saying your dad can't be Goku, but choose the same artist for the dad builder. The characters in Dream Daddy look cartoony yet slightly realistic, but then you have this dad with a completely different art style in comparison. Look, as an example, this is my sprite for my videos, and this is my own art. It's a jarring difference, right? Not to mention coloring the dad's hair is fucking awful. Not even looking closely, you can see the white transparent gaps like you're using the paint bucket tool. I mean, you couldn't find a way to fill that gap in, especially when it's a very minuscule detail that could have been easily fixed in like, what, a couple hours? Maybe this is the Game Grumps' fault to get people interested in the game, or maybe it's the team's fault, but there is definitely at least a little bit of false advertising. Let's look down the features of what they advertise and see what's truthful and what's not actually there. 7 dateable dads. Yes, that's right, there are. Though I'd say there were supposed to be 8, given the extra space in the dad picture gallery thing. Dad creator. Yeah, that's a thing. Multiple endings per dad. If a dad dates you and doesn't date you is an ending thing, then yeah, that's there. Voiced by the Game Grumps and friends. They've said other places the game is fully voice acted, but this is a big fat lie. Grunts and ahs is not fully voice acting. And saying one quirk line at the end of every date doesn't count either. Why not make a joke about it like grunted by the Game Grumps? Even has a nice ring to it too. Okay, this is straying away a bit, but can I talk about how fucking bad Hugo's mic quality is in comparison to all the other Grumps? I don't know if he wasn't able to show up during recording, or something went wrong, or both, but why does he sound like he's recording in an empty apartment on a shitty laptop?
What? Whoa!
Jeebus, I had to turn my volume down to like 3 just because his mic quality was so loud and jarring. Okay, back to some of the features. Written by Vernon Shaw and Leighton Gray. Yeah, though questionably written as I said earlier. The artwork is credited and the score is credited, so that's all fine. That's not really stuff that's a feature, that's just giving credit, so dad-themed mini and micro games throughout each date path. Yeah, by mini and micro games, do you mean those shitty games that are either horribly made or stupidly easy? I mean, the only mini game that was really fun that made me laugh and added to the experience was Robert's, because like the names for the carvings were really funny. Dad puns. You're right, and it's someone who has a love for horrible puns, and I mean really corny puns. That's one of the best things about this game, is how awfully amazing the puns are. Secrets. What secrets? Nothing in this game is exactly a secret except for the hidden ending. Is that what the secret was? Cause if so, it was kind of horribly written. I mean, it was the millionth, oh, this character was evil and everything was a horror game. And it doesn't even work like with Doki Doki, where we kind of feel something is weird from how perfect or something everything is. Dream Daddy is a funny game with charming characters, so it's really bad to have this secret ending where it's all scary and Joseph's the bad guy. I'm really glad they didn't go through with the ending, but don't advertise secrets as plural when that's literally the only secret in this game. I really love Dream Daddy, I do. Sure, it's not dramatical murder, but gosh damn do I love how hilarious it is, the character designs, the brilliant progression it makes for itself, and Craig. Yes, Craig is an entire category for himself, just saying. I think I just overall want to know what happened to it. This was a big visual novel, and I feel like the team did absolutely nothing with it. No DLC, no holiday endings. It just feels so strange to me. I'm not saying Dream Daddy was some shitpost scam, because that's tinfoil hat stupidity, and I sure as hell don't find tinfoil hats very fashionable, thank you very much. It's more like I feel like the team made this big game without taking just a little bit more time to perfect it. I'm not saying they need to take 4 or 5 years like some developers, but at least a little longer to flesh out your story. When I was watching the Momocom panel on Twitch, it felt like they had a million ideas that could have very well been put into this game, but very few people telling them, hey, this isn't gonna make sense for the game we're trying to make, or, you know, this is something not a lot of people are gonna get, so maybe tone down a bit on that. Like when I make my videos, I don't do it alone. I often have my friends give me inspiration I need to make the video and explain to me what I need to bring up and what I shouldn't bring up, for it might deviate from what I'm trying to convey. I'm not saying the developers are bad people either. They seem like very nice people and still made an absolutely wonderful game that's a lot of fun and still really awesome, but definitely needed more experience in writing and design before making a big game like this. That's just me anyway, and what do I know, right? Now, I don't know if the original developers are doing this game. I've been told the artist Epsy is, but there's this game similar to Dream Daddy coming out, and it's called The Office Type, that I just hope is a big improvement from Dream Daddy. The game's bio says it's an office-themed dating simulator with the option to date either men, women, or non-binary people of your choice. Here's to hoping its writing and art will be a huge step up from Dream Daddy. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see me do more videos like this, then let me know down below as always. See you next time! Okay, so like, I finished this video and all is said and done, right? So like, after finishing this video, Dream Daddy puts on their Twitter that there's now an official comic series that covers cute little side stories. You can buy this game on OniPress for about $3 for the digital version and $10 for the physical copy. The second issue is with Robert and due later this month, so good times. Wanna know why I'm happy? The first one is with my favorite dad, Craig, boys! Do my points still stand with these comics out now? Yeah, obviously, because the problems with Dream Daddy are gameplay based and writing in the game based. Like, let's say, for instance, in a game they reference something that happened in the past and then they never bring it up, and a comic comes out that addresses that past. Yeah, that's fixing it because now you're coming out with a piece of media that's addressing the problem. With Dream Daddy, they're not fixing the problems I have with it through these comics. They're making little extra fluff stories, and they are adorable, don't get me wrong, but it's still not fixing the problems with Dream Daddy in general. So yeah, thanks for watching, bye! Again, here's to hoping they don't announce a Dream Daddy 2 as I upload this video, or I'm just gonna fucking scream.